Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And thank God it's working because of you guys. Here we are, 31 days, 19 hours, 57 minutes, and 0 seconds away from kickoff against the Carolina Panthers. And guys, I'm as excited as can be. A month away from the season starting? Are you kidding me? You know, when you get old at my age, time flies. Literally, that's no time at all before we get ready to get started. And tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern, the Dallas Cowboys will go against the San Francisco 49ers. I know we're talking about a practice game, not a real game now. We're talking about practice. And our starters probably won't play much, which I'm fine with because I want to get those guys healthy and into the season. But so much has been made about our offense and Dak Prescott. He's struggling. And then you listen to the polls. The polls say, we stink. We're no good. The Eagles, they're built the right way. They're the number one team. Well, here's the thing. Polls are great to talk about, have discussions. In fact, I believe we're getting trolled more than anything else because people know the bottom line is that people click. And when you say something crazy and off the wall, people click on it. We're the bait. As long as we're commenting, it doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if that's how you really feel. The bottom line is that people are watching it. People are talking about it. But here's the thing. We're talking about football. Football is damn near impossible to predict. I don't care if you played football for 20 years. I don't care if you've been a coach in the NFL. I don't care if you've gone to ESPN, School of Broadcasting. It's at best an educated guess. You might have a better chance at predicting the weather correctly than predicting football. Because if that was the case, if you could predict everything, there wouldn't be any undrafted free agents in the Hall of Fame. All the Hall of Famers would have been first round draft picks because everybody knew for sure that that guy was going to be legitimate. Not an undrafted Tony Romo, not a Tom Brady in the 6th round. Think about last year when they said that the Cowboys, rookie of the year ground runner of the year, running back Zeke Elliott, rookie of the year quarterback Dak Prescott, best offensive line in football. Cowboys, they got it. They were close, just as a rookie quarterback in his first playoff game, but he did go toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers. They'll be back next year. Ooh, they might be one of those teams to beat. The New York Giants. Oh, they got Brandon Marshall. They're going to be a team to reckon with. That defense that they got is going to be incredible. 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Eli Manning. Oh, they're odds-on favorite for the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers with the bad man, Aaron Rodgers. You know they're going to be there. Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom. Can't bet against those guys. Can't. But guess what? Even though this time last year, everybody was on their jock, none of them made the playoffs. Nobody thought about the Rams, the 4-12 Rams. The basement-dwelling Eagles? What? Minnesota Vikings? Who? The polls are basically like the mock drafts, you know, where they give you about 50 different scenarios. Very rarely is any of it right. And when it comes to talking about Dak Prescott in practice, guys, we just opened up camp 2 weeks ago. Stop pushing the panic button. You can't predict from 1 week to the next, much less from training camp through the season. You got to understand that the Dallas Cowboys are covered more than anyone else. Everybody realizes if I talk about the boys, people are going to watch. If I find something that'll scare the bejeebies out of the Dallas Cowboys, everybody's going to click. So let's cut and paste a little bit here and make it really outrageous. Case in point, Stephen Jones' interview. That wasn't about Dez Bryant. Yet, they made it about Dez Bryant by cutting out part of the interview. Dak Prescott. Oh, on 11 on 11. Hasn't had a touchdown pass. How much 11 on 11 are they doing in practice? How many plays are we talking about here? Here's what's amazing. Because people talk about how bad he looks. Well, let's go back to some recent history here. August 6, 2016. Now, of course, my computer's not reading. We heard about a quarterback who threw 4 picks. 4 picks in one practice. We're not talking about Dak Prescott. We're talking about Drew Brees. And that was that point that people were like, oh my God, Drew Brees, could he be the next Peyton Manning who dropped off a cliff as he got older? After seeing Peyton Manning drop off a cliff, oh, I forgot, that was the opening line. Having one of the greatest, if not the best season ever by any quarterback in NFL history, Saints fans and Patriot fans are hoping they aren't next. There have been talk among those fans and the NFL analysts of the future Hall of Famer, now New Orleans Saints quarterback, Drew Brees, poor season in 2015. So he had a bad season in 2015 by his standards. And whether the slide had occurred, and what Brees did in practice Saturday won't help the conversation. So you had Peyton Manning play incredible, and then the next year win the Super Bowl being a shell of himself. You had Drew Brees kind of come back down to earth, and now we're talking about practice, how bad he looked. Drew Brees threw a whopping 4 interceptions in one practice. It was a rough day, he said, after his 4-pick day. Probably one of the roughest days I've ever had in a long time, maybe ever. And training camp practice especially. So everything that people are talking about now, oh my God, the Dallas Cowboys, they're in trouble. Dak Prescott is looking terrible. Oh my God. Push the panic button. Get Cooper Rush to start. Guys, stop. Stop. You know that season, Drew Brees threw for over 5,200 yards. 37 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. We're talking about practice, guys. Dak Prescott has never been a practice guy. In 2016, remember how you guys all thought, oh, there goes Tony Romo. There goes the season. We have a 4th-round quarterback who's going to be running our offense. Where's my golf clubs? And in practice, he didn't look that great, but then in the games, preseason looked pretty good. So just relax on all this stuff, guys. Because the reality is this. Like I was pointing out, in the NFC, only one team made the playoffs 2 years in a row. And brethren will be happy to say, that's my Atlanta Falcons. We're built together the right way. You guys could take a lesson from us. Yeah, well, okay. Well, you guys definitely know how to choke. Nobody was talking about the Eagles last year. Nobody was talking about the Rams. But now all of a sudden, they're the hot pick. And deservedly so, till somebody knocks them off. But I can guarantee you that some of those teams that are up there will be knocked off. It's a long season. There's a lot of things that'll go into whether it's a good season or not. Injuries, key factor. If you can stay healthy, it makes it a lot better. The ball bouncing your way. Sometimes You just get some sucker lucky breaks. A few calls and a few surprises. But that's what it all boils down to when we're talking about a season. So don't get bent out of shape. Don't get depressed. If bad things happen, they'll deal with them then. But we haven't even had the first preseason game and people are already, the season's lost. Are you kidding me? Don't put out in the universe negativity. Put out positive. Because if you don't believe it can happen, it can't. I'm Mark Holmes, Cowboy Joe Boo, and I'm trying to calm you guys down and get you back up off the ledge. I'll see you guys soon.